Hello, and how are you? This is Ambassador Steve Mbugua. I'm an ambassador of safety. And my mission is to help build a culture of safety. Because, as you know, we lose a lot of lives through different safety related incidents like road safety or road matters, workplace injuries and accidents, probably in schools, places of worship, at home. Whenever we do our duties or as we travel up and down, sometimes we have encounter incidents and injuries and accidents and sicknesses that we can avoid. And so some of the lives that we lose and injuries that we encounter, we can prevent them. As an ambassador of safety, my mission is to help build a culture of safety, to prevent these incidents. How do I do it? One, I create awareness. I train people on how to prevent, to prepare for, and respond in a manner that is safe, prompt, and effective. I also provide safety equipment and product, things that we can help or use to prevent incidents. Now, and I would like to address an important area that is in the concept of safety, that is workplace safety. You know, every time as we go to our places of work, we expect that we'll go and come back home safe and secure. And also, we expect that we'll come back without injuries or will not contract any disease or sickness or illness in the course of duty. And also is the expectation of the employer and, and those who we work for, that they may continue also having maximum production because there is no absenteeism, there is no sickness, there is no injuries, as maybe employers are safe and are productive enough because they are not affected. Their normal production is not affected. Now, what causes some of these incidents and diseases and injuries at the workplace? One of the very common causes is slip, trip, and fall. At the workplace, we may have slip, trip, and fall caused by probably slippery floor, wet floor, probably loose carpets and loose rugs. Probably there are cables or just poor housekeeping, amongst others. So it's very important to observe the place we work around. Also, because of poor visibility or poor lighting, it can also lead to slip, trip, and fall. So it's very important to know that is one of the causes of workplace-related injuries. There's also violence. For violence can cause this. Probably there's a disagreement between staff or between employees or between employee and employer, and this violence can lead to injuries. There's also incidents that relates to lifting and carrying. When we are lifting heavy objects or loading or offloading or carrying items from one place to another, the way we lift and the way we carry, it can harm us. It can harm our tissues, our bones, our nervous system, and all that. Also, there's the issue of ergonomics. Poor ergonomics can harm your body, your back, your neck, your head, your nerves. Also, there's the issue of just negligence or carelessness, which can lead to probably, let's say you are a smoker, you're smoking and you dispose that filter anywhere and you end up having fire incident at the workplace. Also, leaving some of the equipments in an unsafe way. For example, let's say there are some equipment you're supposed to lock and you did not lock. Or let's say you are using a certain moving object and then in the process, probably you leave it unattended, you have not engaged the handbrake. Any time any engagement can force the equipment to start moving and cause injuries. There's also electrical related incidents. These are fire incidents. There is just poor working environment, poor working conditions, poor working practices. All these can cause incidents and accidents and diseases at the workplace. So it's very important. There's fire related incident, there is poisoning and all that. And these issues and matters can lead to a number of injuries and sicknesses. For example, respiratory illnesses. For example, if you inhale gas or you are in a contaminated environment, you can have respiratory conditions like bronchitis, asthma, or even lung cancer. There is the issue of poisoning, swallowed poisoning, poison into the eye, or even contact with the skin. There's the issue of head injuries. You can have scalp wound, scalp fracture, compression, concussion, and all that. There's the issue of burns and scars in the cause. There's dry burn, there is a chemical burn, radiation burn. All this can happen at the workplace. There's the issue of musculoskeletal injuries. There's sprain, strain. We can have dislocation. Also, we can have fractures. All these things can happen. Issues of nose bleeding, injuries, cuts, wounds. You can have, contusions, lacerations, bruises, and all that. They can happen. Severe bleeding. There can be internal or external bleeding, amongst others. This is a big list of injuries, conditions, diseases that you can encounter at your workplace due to maybe negligence, due to some of these factors that can lead to the injuries. And my major concern is prevention and protection. There are things you can protect, there are things you can prevent, there are things you can eliminate. So how do we prevent ourselves from workplace related injuries and conditions and diseases? Number one is through training. Staff need to be trained. Before you start doing any duty or any activity, it's very important to have the information about what you're doing. There should be sensitization or awareness or training for everyone. If it's how to handle certain chemical, certain equipment, certain items, understanding the environment that you're working in. So training, awareness, supervision is very important. Number two, it's also good to have a risk assessment done. This risk assessment helps to identify the hazard. Now, having known the hazard that you're dealing with, there are hazards that can be eliminated, others can be isolated, others, there can be proper training on how to handle them. They can be reduced, and others even you can use personal protective equipment to handle these hazards. So it's very good to do risk assessment. Again, it's good to do what we call audit, fire audit, safety audit. It's very important so that you can be able to identify which risk do we have, which hazards do we have. You develop material safety data sheet, and all this. They will help to know how to handle this and how to operate in such an environment. Even risk assessment and audit also help us to know which personal protective equipment to use. It's also good also to use the right, appropriate, and necessary personal protective equipment like head protection, hearing or ear protection, breathing apparatus, eye protection, hand protection, the foot protection, full body cover, and other, depending with the environment and from the risk assessment done. Use the appropriate personal protective equipment. You need to have the right signages. There is a cautionary signages. There is informational or informative signages and other, like for example, fire action, fire exit, fire assembly point, signage to do with personal protective equipment, exit, access, and all this, caution, construction in progress, site safety rules, hazard identification or hazard information signages, very, very important. It's also good to have to do, what we call policy formulation. Have a fire policy, have a health and safety policy, and all that. They will always guide us, even as we focus on building a culture of safety. So it is very important that we take responsibility, personal responsibility, to ensure there is a safe working condition, safe working environment, safe working practices. Note these three things. Number one, safe working environment. Two, safe working condition. And number three, safe working working practices. And you always know that safety starts with you. Safety starts with me, safety starts with you, safety starts with all of us. You have to take responsibility, because safety is both an individual and collective responsibility. I'll play my part, you play your part, and we will reduce and we'll avoid all these workplace related injuries, related conditions, and will end up being productive. Companies will produce maximally, because there are no absenteeism caused by injuries and sicknesses and fatigue and all that. Always learn to communicate. The employer should learn to communicate with employees, and employees communicate to employers on any issues to do with safety. Anything that can harm anyone, I have to have duty of care. Employees need to have duty of care and own up, and also employers need to reward and encourage employees to open up. If they are not okay with a certain environment or practice and condition, let us share without being victimized or harassed, so that at the end of the day, I will be safe, you'll be safe, we'll have a safe working environment, safe working practices, safe working condition. We will all be safe, and when we are safe, the production will be good, and there will be maximum production, maximum profit. Remember, safety is both an individual and collective responsibility. It starts with me, starts with you, starts with all of us, and it's as simple as ABC. Always be careful. Let us join hands in building a culture of safety. This is the ambassador of safety, Ambassador Steve Mbugua. Safety first.